Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be interviewing fellow exchange student and very good friend Leon, who is also an exchange student at the Universitas Gadjah Mada in Yogyakarta. So we're going to be answering a few questions relating to our time there and kind of talking about our experiences. So I'm going to be really interested to hear what Leon has to say, as well as sharing of some of my own stories. So if you don't know me already, my name is Chloe and I study at the University of Birmingham, studying anthropology and political science. For 1 year, I was an exchange student at Universitas Gadjah Mada, studying politics and international relations. You can find more videos about my time there, as well as other little things going on in my life on my YouTube channel, so please subscribe if you're interested in further videos.
Hey guys, my name is Leon. I'm from Germany, as you might hear because of my accent. Sorry for that, I hope you can understand what I'm talking about. And yeah, I also spent my semester abroad in Indonesia. And yeah, I studied business over there, and in Germany I'm doing business management. And yeah, I'm really excited to talk about that things that I experienced over there with Chloe.
So our first question is, why did you choose Indonesia, specifically Jogja, and what did you expect before arriving? So as I've kind of mentioned in other videos, I didn't actually choose Indonesia specifically. My university placed me there for my year abroad. I was really open-minded about where I went, especially as I study anthropology and politics as my major at my home university. I was really open of options of where I wanted to go. But I have to admit, when I received the email that I was going to Indonesia, I was a little nervous, as I didn't really know much about Indonesia or what it would be like at all, really. I couldn't really find even much information online about it, about kind of like living there and the university, which really inspired me making my YouTube video, which you can find here, about studying in Indonesia and what life was like living there as a student and as an international person living there.
Well, I'm a really big fan of nature, so as you can see, I love palm trees. I need them everywhere. This country has a really like different kind of nature compared to Germany, with all those jungles and waterfalls. So that was always like a thing I really wanted to do. And yeah, I was also looking for the opportunity to go surfing after uni. And Jogja is really close to the ocean. It's about like maybe 1.5 hour by scooter, so you could just go surfing whenever you wanted to. And I also wanted to experience something completely different, yeah, the culture over there is like, it's just so different from the European culture, so I was really excited for that. Another thing was also the really good weather they have over there. So in Germany it was getting winter, so I kind of like tried to avoid the winter, the cold season, by flying there and having like, yeah, another summer. And yeah, it was also like for me as a student, it was also really important about like how much you pay for your year abroad. So that was one of the options which were like, compared to something else with that long distance, was really cheap. So once you bought your flights over there, you could live there really easily. So living costs were about like 200 euros or 250 for the house, and you had 30 euros for a scooter. And the food was about like 70 cents for nasi goreng or something. So it was really cheap over there living there. That made it really attractive.
Question number 2, what were you looking forward to the most?
Well, of course, I also had big plans for traveling, especially after university, because they start earlier in Indonesia. So you got 2 months in the end where you can go traveling before you have to go back to Germany and continue studying there. So I wanted to travel in Indonesia, doing things like Bali, Lombok, and so on, but also going to countries which are around Indonesia. And yeah, I also wanted to see the different way of living and kind of like finding out what things they do differently from the Europe culture and what things I can adapt for myself.
As I said before, as an anthropology student, I was really interested in learning about new cultures, and I really wanted to meet new people with different views from my own, who have had different experiences to me completely, and what I can learn from them. I was also really looking forward to travelling in and around Jogja, as well as Indonesia and the neighbouring countries as well, which I can happily say, looking back, was one of the best decisions I made. Question number 3. What were your first impressions upon arriving in Indonesia? For me, I think the first thing you realise right away when you leave the airport was the traffic culture is completely different. You don't really, especially in England where it's cold, you don't really get that many like scooters on the roads. And where you do, like they're mostly ridden on sunny days, or kind of, I'd say like the traffic laws are a little bit more strict. So arriving at the airport and seeing all these scooters and being told that you're going to get on the back of one was like quite scary for the first time. But after a while you completely get used to it, and it became one of my favourite experiences of everyday life in Indonesia. Another thing that I loved right away in Indonesia was the food. As anywhere, when you kind of travel to a new country, you're a little apprehensive of the food to start with, which definitely I think I was. You know, you kind of get a little bit nervous of street food, but we tried it and all was good, and I fell in love with it. I remember the first thing we tried was like white rice, like nasi putih in like banana leaf, and it was like barbecued, and it was incredible, and I don't think I ever had anything quite like that again. I was looking for it for months after that first night, but quickly I became in love with Indonesian food, and it was one of the biggest things I miss about the country.
Well, I remember when we got off the plane, it was a group of 3 people from my university. We got hit by a completely different climate. At that time we had winter in Germany, so we had about maybe 15 degrees. And when we got out that plane, it was about like 30 degrees or something, so it was really, really hot. But I kind of liked it because that was like the reason why I chose this country, like having another summer. And yeah, after that we got picked up by our landlord, and I kind of like experienced the same like Chloe did, but I was really lucky. We got picked up by car from our landlord, but when I was sitting in that car and looking outside the window, first of all, it was really different to Germany, because in Indonesia you drive on the left side while we're driving on the right side, so that was kind of like mind-breaking sometimes. And yeah, as Chloe said, the scooters everywhere, like thousands of scooters driving crazy and like really close to each other. Yeah, that was really, really scary the first time. And I love driving scooters and motorbikes. I am doing that in Germany for years, and like I like to like go crazy on the road, but that was like scary the first time. But in the end I would say like I definitely did it obviously, but yeah, in the end I would say that I was one of the crazy guys after 6 months driving there. So yeah, don't be scared, you get used to it. And yeah, another thing I experienced really quickly was like the mindsets, or like, yeah, how people react. Like people over there are really, really friendly. So they smile at you, they're really helpful. And yeah, that was so different to the European culture, especially to Germany. I really, really appreciate that. So yeah, it gave you like a good first impression. Being there, this is the right thing, and yeah.
Question number 4. Did you experience culture shock, and what did you find were the biggest cultural differences, and how did you adapt?
Well, of course, I got a really big culture shock because I'm living outside the city. I'm living on the land in Germany, so I need that like green and like yeah forests and stuff. But over there, you kind of like live in the middle of a really really big city. All those noises, all those scooters everywhere, and yeah, not that much green. That yeah, it was really crazy in the first week. So it made me really thinking about like, is this the right thing? Do I feel comfortable over here? And yeah, after those 2 weeks, it changed really quickly, and you get kind of like, yeah, you just get used to it, and you also kind of like find out that you can go outside the city whenever you want to. You just take your scooter, which we rented for like 30 euros a month, which was quite cheap. Petrol was also really cheap over there, about like €1 per liter. Yeah, whenever you want it, you just yeah, grab your scooter and drove out into the forest or to waterfalls. So yeah, I kind of like managed that. Yeah. And yeah, as I said before, it was really different that people use scooters instead of cars, which I really like because it's much more environmentally friendly to use a scooter. And I love driving scooters. It's like the wind in your hairs, and yeah, it's just a completely different feeling and compared to like driving in a car.
I'm not sure if I really experienced culture shock, but I definitely experienced something like cultural fatigue. I think because it's such a different culture, it's more of a longer process over time. You get quite exhausted while you love it and you love assimilating. It can take quite a lot of energy, constantly translating, constantly trying to adapt to another culture. And I think sometimes that's where kind of little things from home, like food or phoning home, talking to people from your country, can become really helpful in overcoming that cultural fatigue. Cultural differences that really kind of had to adapt to was more like I was really mindful of kind of being respectful to Indonesian culture and not drawing attention to myself. So things like clothing, I didn't particularly wear clothing to, especially university, that I would wear at my university in England, just out of respect and kind of blending into, you know, my fellow peers around. And as well as kind of taking the time to learn a lot more about the culture and talking to people and understanding their experiences living there their entire lives. One aspect I found really enhanced my experience was learning Bahasa Indonesia, and I had an amazing language teacher, and that really opened up experiences to a whole new level where you were able to communicate with people, and I think people responded really well, kind of knowing that you took the time to understand and learn Indonesian, even if it is quite a basic level like mine was. Question number 5. What were your best memories of your time there? So I was super lucky that I met such amazing people and friends, and we had amazing memories, and one of those is Leon. We shared many memories together. Some of my favourite were in Pacitan, which is a small town about maybe 3 or 4 hours drive away from Jogja to the east coast, and there was a few like surf hostels where you could surf and rent a board, and I'd already had some surf experience, so it was great to really hone your skills in this new territory and bond with your friends and people you have met on the beach in a different atmosphere, and it was kind of like a little holiday away from city life.
Well, that's a really big question. I could talk for ages about that. Yeah, where to begin? One of the best things was definitely the beach party we had in Karamanjava Island, where me and Chloe met as well. And another thing I really liked about Indonesia is the music culture, like the music pubs with like different live bands. It's completely different to what we have in Germany. So I'm working in a club over here and we got concerts, but they always have the like set list, which songs they're gonna play, and that's it. But over there it's different. Like you can just go there, grab a beer, talk with some people, and you can recommend songs. And if you're lucky, they play those songs. That was really, really, really cool. Yeah, I also did plenty trips for waterfalls. Bromo National Park was also one of my highlights. As Chloe said, we went to Pacitan for surf weekends many times, and also the traveling after uni finished through Lombok, Bali, and Philippines and Thailand was like crazy. It was really, really cool.
Question number 6. Are there any places in Jogja you would recommend travellers to go?
Well, of course, there are many places I could recommend. One of my favorites was definitely the rock pub called Esmera in the heart of Jogja. They had like different live bands playing different rock genres 2 or 3 times a week. And you could recommend songs, just grab a beer and have nice conversation with people over there. Yeah, I really loved the food. So there was a warung next to where I was living. It was in the Sleeman area. And yeah, they had really, really good nasi goreng and nasi orak-arik. So I went there at least once a day. So yeah, I could definitely recommend that store. Yeah, another cool thing we did was climbing Mount Merapi, which is the big, massive volcano next to Jogja. And if you're lucky, you can see it from outside your house sometimes, if it's not too cloudy. Yeah, we also went to different caves close to Jogja, about an hour away. Yeah, we went to different waterfalls. Yeah, there was one really cool waterfall. It was a big curved one. It was called Koban Sewu. So, yeah, it was kind of like a canyon, and you could like go down, climb down, and once you went down there, you were surrounded by a big, massive waterfall. That was really cool.
On Saturday. Jogja has so many amazing places that you wouldn't necessarily find in the typical tourist guides, and a lot of these places we found simply by looking on Google Maps and zooming into places we thought looked interesting. One of the places, there was so many amazing waterfalls, and I will link them below because I cannot remember or pronounce the names off the top of my head, but I can insert some clips here of the pictures and names of these amazing waterfalls me and Leon both went to together. What was the situation regarding how you left?
Compared to Chloe, I was just studying there for 1 semester, so I didn't get in any trouble with COVID restrictions, because yeah, I left in the end of February. But yeah, I felt really sad. First of all, I had to like leave this country, leave like all the friends I made over there, and yeah, you kind of like know that this is over now and you go back to normal life, because it was kind of like a dream. Like, yeah, I could really recommend to anyone like going there and just, yeah, having this really nice experience. It would change your life. And yeah, I also missed the food. So one of the last things I did was driving to the takeaway to the warung around, or like next to my house, and just grabbing 2 portions of nasi goreng, taking them with me to the airport.
So for me, I was quite a different situation than Leon. I was going to stay there for 2 semesters. In the UK, you typically do your exchange for a year as opposed to a semester, like many other countries do. So I was expecting to leave there in August, and unfortunately after Leon left in February, I didn't know that I only had a few weeks left there myself. And this was really quite a shock due to the ongoing situation with COVID. It was escalating massively and there was such an atmosphere of uncertainty in the world, and ultimately it came down to the situation of we had to book a flight for the next day. And I think if we didn't do that, and it was sometime in late March, but if we didn't do that, then we would have probably been stuck there, or at least stuck in another country whilst trying to get home. What do you miss most, and would you go back? Massively. I can hand on heart say what I miss the most is the food and of course the people. I miss nasi goreng every single day. I have tried to make it for myself and it does not work, and I have tried so many recipes, so many different combinations, and I think there's just some secret little warung secret that they do that makes nasi goreng so amazing, and that is one of the biggest reasons I want to go back. I also feel like the situation in how I left was really quite abruptly. We were going to plan to go to Mount Bromo a few weeks after we actually ended up leaving, and it's little things like that that you had planned to go to that you feel like you do have that unfinished business, and I'd really like to go back one day. Hopefully as well. My mum was meant to come and visit in May, which unfortunately she couldn't due to coronavirus situation, but we still have those tickets booked, so potentially we weren't able to cancel, but potentially we can reschedule. So I will hopefully definitely be going to Indonesia very soon, hopefully one day.
Sometimes I'm like dumb, like I think I'm pressing, like I think I'm filming a video.
Yeah, that's a really easy answer. I would definitely go back. Even more, I will go back. I already made plans going back there. Gonna go to Australia and New Zealand in October, and yeah, after that I will just stop in Indonesia for at least 2 weeks and see some friends and have this nice food again. And I really missed the food, especially the first weeks at home. Eating bread instead of rice was felt kind of weird, and I missed this good vibes you got over there, like the nice sunny weather, the really friendly people, and it was really nice time. So I could recommend to any one of you to go there and take this experience.
So I just want to say a massive thank you for everybody who has watched this far till the end of the video. Please consider subscribing and comment down below if you have any other questions, or if you have any experiences of Georgia yourself that you would like to tell everyone about. Follow me on Instagram, it's Legge, Legge with dots in the middle, and Chloe Zoe for my hobby account. Both are fine, please follow both. And again, please subscribe, comment, like, do all the normal YouTube stuff to help support my channel. I am massively grateful for everybody who has been so supportive recently, and I'm just blown away by the support. So thank you. If you also have any recommendations of what video I should do next, again, comment below and I read every single comment and I will definitely try and do them. Again, a massive thank you to everybody who has been so supportive so far. If you have any ideas of what video I should do next, comment below your ideas and potentially you will see it in the next video. But until then, thank you for watching, please subscribe, and I hope you have a lovely day.